What's up, video land? How y'all doing? It's your girl, Knowledge by Nikki with 1K. It is Knowledge by Nikki at 9, y'all. 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock somewhere. It's 9 o'clock Central. I think it's 10 o'clock Eastern. It's 7 a.m. on the West Coast, y'all. So it's a little early for y'all, I know, but that's all right, because the early bird truly gets the worm. But how y'all doing today? I know a lot of you all are probably working today. A lot of you all are literally probably grinding, making the donuts. It's the day before Christmas. And we got to take off Christmas, which means we got to work, right? We got to go get it while we can. So I want to piggyback off of yesterday. And this is the book. You all know I read a lot. Those of you all that listen to me all the time. And this is what I'm reading right now. It's really, really good, guys. It's called Managing Yourself. And let me tell y'all something. In a world where everybody's trying to be the leader, everybody wants to be the boss, everybody wants to own their own stuff and, you know, this and that and be an entrepreneur, and nobody want to work for nobody, and everybody wants to be in charge. And ain't nothing wrong with that. But what's that old statement? You got to pay the cost to be the boss. And what I'm finding is that we got a lot of people in leadership positions. And we know that just from looking at the political world that we exist in right now, that really have not really gotten the grips of their own behaviors, of their own words, of their own things that they do and the way they treat others and the way they respond to things. And you know, we got a whole world full of it. I'm talking about at all levels, guys. We got salon owners that are awful. We got other business owners. I was saying last week how you go into restaurants, and this really is what got me, guys. I went into, I want to say it was Popeyes or Burger King, one of the fast food chains, and my food was wrong. So I wasn't tripping. I get it. It was busy. So I went to the door and I went in and I said, you know, this isn't right. And the girl behind the register, who's just a laborer, she looked at me and she said, well, that's what you ordered. I said, no, it's not. So anyway, we got into a little back and forth, not too bad, but a little back and forth. I said, look, we're not going to do this. Let me talk to your manager. Guys, the manager was worse than she was. The manager was, I said, just give me my money back when it was all said and done. But it was a reflection for me of what this world has become in terms of leadership, in terms of when the people in charge cannot manage themselves, it ain't much you can expect from the people that are below them. So I believe that being in a place, if you're the owner, if you're the manager, if you're the CEO, president, I don't care what label you put on your name, you have a different responsibility than the people who are actually under you to be able to manage yourself in a way that they can look up to you and maybe try to get better. But in saying that, this is probably the hardest thing for all of us as humans to do, is to manage ourselves. Because it's always easy telling somebody else what to do, and in secret, we doing completely the opposite and nowhere near following our own advice. And so this is what this is about. So yesterday, I talked about creating a culture. You must create a culture. These are one of the, and I'll go through them real quick, just so you'll kind of know where we are. Let me read the ones that I did yesterday. We're going to talk about the second one. Not creating a culture, I'm sorry. Number one was creating a strategy for your life. You have to create, just like those in business, try to come up with these whole, first of all, branding, which is very important. And let me back up for a minute. In creating a strategy for your life, I need you to look at your life as a brand. Like my life has got to be a brand. It's got to represent something. I have to have an identity for my life. What is my life? When people think of me, what do they say? What do they think? And you know what? It's interesting to ask people that. Matter of fact, I want to challenge you all to do something. I get most of my coachees to do this when it comes to their clients. When I'm helping them discover or tap into their brand and who they really are, I tell them, if they've been doing hair for any length of time, 5 years or more, I tell them to get or to send a message to their 5 best clients, the ones that you can set your watch on, the ones that are loyal, you ain't got to wonder if they're going to be there, the ones that have been coming to you that are loyal and for maybe 5 years or more, or 10 years, the longer the better. I need you to ask them, other than you being a great hairstylist, barber, esthetician, whatever it is that you do, why do they continue to come to you? Why is that? You will be amazed at the responses that you will get from those people. And what you'll start to find is there will be a common denominator. There will be something common that they'll talk about you. They'll say it. What starts to happen is they start helping you because we got blind spots. You can't ask us who we think we are because we always think we're somebody we're not. They'll be able to help you start to hone in on what it is that you do naturally, what it is that you exude naturally. And your brand is typically found in your true identity. So when you talk about that in business, we have to come up with that same way or method of thinking for our lives. When you create a strategy for your life, I don't care when you start. I don't care if we messed up for 25, if you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and you know your life has spun out of control, has went in a whole nother direction, whether it's through divorce or bankruptcy or loss of parents, of children, of being estranged from people. There are so many things that we don't plan on that happen in our lives. I don't care what it is. At this point, from this day, I need you to start creating a strategy around your life. And for those of you all that want to know what I'm talking about, if you didn't see my video yesterday, at the top of this heading, it says join my new community called Facebook App Village. It's actually pretty cool. Join that and you'll be able to go right to the video that I talked about yesterday. So it'll say December 22nd, and I'll give you the instructions on what you need to do in order to create that strategy. But that strategy has to be derived from your brand. It has to come from who you are. You cannot create a strategy from a place or a person that isn't you. That's what happens when we lose our identity. And I want to speak to my women. Women, we are notorious. And it's just the way God created us. We nurture by nature. We naturally surrender so much of ourselves to others, to children, to husbands, because we feel like that is our responsibility. Let me tell y'all something. I had the best mother on the planet. Y'all hear me? And my mother still believed in what they say on the airplane. And I use this statement a lot because I get it now. On the airplane, what do they tell you? If for whatever reason we lose cabin pressure or however the spill goes, we should all know about now, those of us that fly, however the spill goes, put your mask on first. They say that for a reason. I want all my women to understand. When you put your mask on first, you have more oxygen to be a better mother. You have more oxygen to be a better wife. You have more oxygen to be a better you. But we in the world of demands and of kind of disproportionate thinking and what male responsibilities are and what women, I mean, right now, a woman, if she leaves her baby, after 3 months, I think is beyond the safe haven law, at least where I live. If you leave your baby somewhere and they find that child, you're going to jail. But men walk away from children every day and there's no consequence, at least not immediate. So in a world that says that women have a different sense of responsibility, I want you to hear me. In creating the strategy for your life, I want you to put your mask on first. Are y'all with me? Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about that. But in creating a strategy, that was number one. The second one, which is what we're going to talk about today, actually I skipped around a little bit, but the second one is called allocating your resources. You have got first of all, you got to understand what resources are. And I'm going to get into that today. And then you got to allocate them smartly. Okay, so that's the second one. Then the third one, because I mixed these up some kind of way. The third one we're going to talk about, which is going to be on Wednesday. Yeah, I'm going to be on Christmas Day. It's called Creating a Culture. I talked about that. You got to be more protective about who you're around, what you listen to, who you let feed into you. I'm not even into, you can't come up to me and be like, I'm going to pray for you. I don't know you. Do I really want Holy Ghost filled people? You can't have everybody praying for you. You cannot have everybody praying for you. You got to be careful even with that. Are y'all with me? Then we get into avoid marginal mistakes. It didn't say avoid mistakes, because most of us have literally been able to get to our highest levels of successes through our failures. But it said marginal mistakes. Okay, that's the difference. Then it talked about remember the importance of humility, guys. I think that's, oh yeah, I was going to say, I'll skip one. Remember the importance of humility. We're going to talk about that this week too. And then last but not least, choose the right yardstick, right? So that means sometimes you're trying to measure yourself up to stuff that, why? You don't even want to measure yourself up to that. It's unrealistic. And I'm a big dreamer, y'all, but we're going to get into that too. But let me talk today about number 2. And you all, please join my app community. I haven't put everything on it there. Everything will be up and live, and it's going to give you privy to some stuff that it will not be on my regular Facebook channel, will not be on my YouTube channel, will not be on my Instagram. It won't be on there. I am building a community for people who want to hear the things that I have been blessed to even learn and experience and know, and want to hear the things that are going to help them change. I'm going to be an influencer, but a different kind, because I want to influence you to change. Okay, that's the type of influencer I want to be. So let's talk about the second one, which is allocating your resources. For some of you all just coming on, this is the book that I'm going with this week. It's really good, y'all. It's called On Managing Yourself. It's part of Harvard's business reviews. 10 must reads. I got the whole set, y'all. So, but this is the one that I really like the most, is On Managing Yourself. Let's talk about resources, y'all. Let's talk about that. What are resources? People use that word, they throw it around. What really is a resource? Do we really know what a resource is? See, I do this kind of stuff. I type up stuff real good and I keep it. Also, what I'm going to be doing too on my community page is I'm going to be, a lot of you all will hit me up on message like, can I get those notes? I will be giving these notes away for free. I take really good notes on the stuff. I do homework, y'all, on the stuff that I talk about, and some of it gets really detaily, and you all are like, can I get those notes? If you join my app community, I will have the notes loaded up for whatever that Facebook video was or YouTube video, because I got YouTube people coming on too, and you'll be able to get it for free. Let's talk about the first one. Hold on, I got a heater on behind me, and it is burning me to pieces, okay? Let's talk about the first one. Time. You know, guys, something happens as you get older in how you value your time. When you're young or younger, we squander time. We do whatever, whenever, however. We don't even think about the time. We don't think about things like sleep. We don't think about things like, I'm so serious about sleep. If somebody asks me to do something, I'm literally counting hours. Anybody else do that besides me? Like, okay, if I go here, and that means I'm going to probably get to bed at about X amount of hours. That means I got to get up at this time. I'm like, okay, they give me from 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10. Anybody else do that other than me? Sleep is important to me. And especially at this age in my life. I don't know about y'all, but I don't do good with days and days and days of not sleeping. Let me tell you something. I came from Hong Kong. I left and I was in Hong Kong for almost a week, and I came back. And y'all, when I say that I've been out the country before, many times, I have never, this is to my friend Eugene. I'm saying this to you, Eugene. You told me it was going to take about a week to get myself back in order. But that jet lag insomnia is awful. It is awful. My body didn't know what time it was. I found myself hey, y'all ever been so tired that you just start crying? That you just start crying because you just want to go to sleep and you can't? I was ridiculously exhausted. I was so frustrated, y'all. I said, this is one of the things that, Lord, I got to get my mind right. I went online like, if I got to go, we going back to China, and we're going in May 16th through 22nd. And I also got a special going on now. It's normally $5,000, but if you join my Facebook community, I'm doing a killer sale. And I'm telling, but I got to get my mind right. I had to go back online and say, okay, how do I avoid jet lag, insomnia? So it gave me some tips, and I'm gonna follow that, because y'all, it's awful. Like right now, I think in Hong Kong, it's about 11 p.m. So it's time to go to sleep in Hong Kong. So you just are off. Okay, but time. Let's talk about time, y'all. That's what I want to get to. Let me give you the definition of time, first of all. Let me give you the 6 resources. Y'all write this down if you're not writing them. Make sure you go back and watch this video. There are 6 resources that you have to be cautious of the minute you become serious about your purpose and what you're going to do with your life and creating a strategy. These are the 6 resources that you have to be mindful about how you allocate them. Listen to me good. The first one is time. The second one is money. The third one is relationships. The fourth one is staff, if you already got people that work for you. The fifth one is information. And the 6th one is energy. Are y'all with me? Now, I'm going to break those down because there is something called, we've heard ROI, different return on stuff. There is something called ROR. And it means return on resources. That means in your strategy for your life, it should never be a situation where these 6 things that I just mentioned to you, you have no purpose or you're doing them with no real function that they're creating for you or no real return that they're creating for you. It is a waste for you to put too much of yourself or have this as part of your strategy, these different things, but yet you're squandering one of these 6 things or all of them. So let me be more specific. I'm going to give you some real life circumstances. Let's talk about time. I define these. Time is an indefinite, continued process of existence and events in the past, the present, and future, and are regarded as a whole. Time is time. I don't care if it's what did happen. I don't care if it's what's gonna happen, or if it's what's happening right now. You have to be able to say, you know what? I cannot squander my time. I need to look at, okay, let's take right now. Let's take the present. What am I doing right now? Is what I'm doing right now have any function in the strategy of my life? If it doesn't, stop doing it. Period. If it ain't got no rhyme or reason, no function, it's wasted. And Steve Harvey said something years ago, and my life is this way, but it's because I'm also naturally regimented. He said every minute of your day should be accounted for. I don't care if it means I'm going to sit down and do nothing because we got to have downtime too. You need to plan that. I'm going to sit down over this holiday period. I've had days where I say I'm just going to sit and watch Netflix all day. You know why? Because in order for me to think and to process and to be able to apply these strategies that I have for my life, I have to have time to think. I have to have time to decompress. And that's what those are for me. I'm sitting there, Netflix is on, I'm writing something, I'm decompressing. It's a Netflix and thinking day. I'm doing that on purpose with my time. That's the present. Let's talk about the past. I talked about this a little bit yesterday for those of you all that were either watch me yesterday. If you didn't, you got to join my app village. You'll be able to get the video and get all the extra stuff that I do. I talked about yesterday about the past, about how you don't spend all your time, or really any of your time, if you can help it, putting too much attention on the past, putting too much attention on what happened, good or bad. Now, when we talk about the good stuff, I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in relationships. If it was something good, beautiful. Use it as a platform that builds whatever. But as John Maxwell says, you are only as good as what's happening right now. Don't even let yesterday have you so pumped up that, oh, well, I did this 20 years ago. That don't mean nothing today. So don't spend all your time talking about yesterday, because where your attention goes, your energy will follow. That means you physically will find yourself trapped in this thing of yesterday. So your time, if you find yourself having too much, I'm not talking about sitting down at a reunion and reminiscing. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about where you just non-stop. As Steve Harvey says also, it's very hard to drive forward looking in the rearview mirror all the time. You cannot do it. So it's cool. You got to turn around and look every now and again. Make sure ain't nothing coming. Make sure ain't nothing going to hit you. But you cannot stay focused on yesterday. You cannot ride off of yesterday. So how much time are you spending on what did happen or what should have happened? It's done. It's over. We need to move forward. Okay. And then future. That is where you want to start investing your time. But Be careful. When I say future, let me tell you, I got a lot of people that I coach that got really big dreams, and I love it. The problem is when you have big dreams, there are things that have to be put in place to get to those dreams. In other words, I don't want you to spend all your time daydreaming. I don't want you to spend all your time just imagining what this could be. No, while you thinking about tomorrow, I need you to spend time in the present doing step 1, step 2, step 3, so we can actually get there, okay? So this is what I mean by how you value your time. You got to sit back and say, how am I using my time? Am I harping on what happened yesterday? Am I wasting my time today sitting down here? For me, this time when I ain't got to travel, I'm on organizational mode. I'm on getting sleep mode. I'm on talking to y'all more mode. I'm literally trying to be as productive as I could be and get rest and be able to connect with people that I may not be able to connect with through the year. I am strategically like, okay, I need to do this. I can spend more time with family now. Whatever. That's part of my life strategy. Are y'all with me? So time. And let me tell you something, guys. Time, as you get older, is your most valuable commodity because it's the one thing you cannot get back. There will never be a 9 a.m. December 23rd, 2019 ever again. It's over. It's gone. So that'll never happen again. You can lose money. I don't know about y'all. I done made money and lost it. I'm talking about a lot of it. I done made it again, lost it again. But guess what? I learned from it. I don't focus on it. I just try to say, okay, what were the mistakes I made so I don't do them no more? Then I think about present, which I'm about to go through some of these things that I'm thinking about in the present, and then I move forward. And guess what? If you make the right moves, you can triple, quadruple that. Okay? So time, you can't get that back, so don't squander it. The next thing is money, y'all. These are resources that you need to get a return on. That means, let me say this. Let me go back to time real quick. When you find yourself giving time even to things that have no real value, they have no real return on that resource, I need you to think about, and let me tell you what is going to be the hardest thing for a lot of us to do, is that even means the time that you spend with unproductive people in unproductive situations, in things that just have no value to your life. You have got to stop feeling like I got to go. No, you don't. You ain't got to go. Or I got to. You don't have to do nothing. What they say, you got to live, die, and pay taxes. People don't even pay taxes. You got to live and you got to die, though. That's one thing you do not have total control over, okay? So this is something that I want you to think about. Where are you putting your time? Are you wasting your time with things that have, when you leave a group, a person, a situation, a job, where you spend your time, how do you feel when you leave there? Do you feel alive or do you feel depleted? Do you feel like, why am I here while you're sitting there? Because if you feel like that, you are wasting your time and it's time to go. It's time to go at that moment. So you be the judge, all right? Let's talk about money. Well, all of us know what money is, right? Economists, however, have their own language when it comes to money. They defined it, and this is true, as something that serves as a medium of exchange, a unit of accounting, and a store of value. Money is the medium of exchange in a sense that we all agree in making certain transactions. So money is the way we have exchanges of something that is transactional, usually something tangible, whether it's tangible in some kind of way, because we even have money exchanges virtually now. So that's a little different, but it's still, you give me money, I give you something in return. Okay. It's something that's typically done in some type of immediate fashion. Let me tell you, that's a whole nother month that we're going to be talking. All January, we're going to be talking about money. That's all we're going to be talking about in January is money. Money, 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 money. Okay. As we'll probably say all about the Benjamins. We're going to be talking about that, right? This is where we squander the most. And I say that to my entrepreneurs, to my beauty professionals, to my, really, I got personal trainers, I got real estate people. I mean, entrepreneurs, or let me say this, people who don't get a check people who live in what I call a transactional world. That means most of us are service providers. The only way we make money is if somebody shows up, they get a service, they pay us, and then they go. Those are transactional businesses. If you service cars, they got to bring the car, you got to fix the car, they have to pay, and then they have to leave. These are doctors, lawyers. These are transactional businesses. You have to perform or give them something in order for them to pay you, okay? In these type of businesses is where I see the biggest squandering of money happening. And when I say squandering, it's because we don't take the time to learn about how money moves. What happens after the bills are paid? What happens after we pay staff and we pay for the product, and I fixed your hair, but I had to buy the shampoo and the conditioner and the relaxer and the perm solution and the rods and the papers, and I had to get the towels washed. And y'all get it? We know that these things cost money, but we don't take the time to figure out how these things literally factor into the equation. And because of that, guys, what happens at a lot of our, I would say 50 and over cycles of life, we realize that we have squandered a lot of our money. We've literally thrown it in the wind. And then what becomes disheartening, and if you focus too long and spend your time focusing on the past, you start realizing that you don't have the physical energy anymore to work 12, 15, 17 hours a day for the rest of your life. You just don't have it in you. So in the strategy, creating the strategy for our lives, we have to start to embrace learning more about our money, period. You have to, when you go to a trade show, don't sit in just the classes that are teaching you about how to make more money. Sit in the classes that are teaching you about how to keep more money. It ain't about what you make. It's about what you keep. And you are at the point, I know some of you all, I see some of these names, I hear from you all email me, text me, message me, and you're tired. Every time you go and sit in a class that is teaching you about how you can do more, all you're doing is overexerting yourself. You still got to buy stuff to do it. The goal is to start learning about how to leverage what you have so you can work less and achieve more. That is not a skill set any of us are born with. We are not born with that. We have to intentionally go sit and learn about that. If you don't, you will find yourself squandering money for the rest of your life, waiting on somebody to take care of you, give you a check, do something for you. And it's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. I go to all type of conferences and seminars, and I want to be able to see when I step into business classes, I want to see those with people hanging out the door. I want to see when people are talking about investments and money and just how to understand how to read a financial statement. I live for the day that I can walk by that class and I can't get in. Okay, I live for that. But we don't spend any energy there, and money is the most squandered resource in this world. Let me say this Christmas time, y'all, and I get it. I grew up as a kid that had the most amazing Christmases of life, but I'll never forget this. And it was something that taught me something. And I don't even know if my mother knows this today, but I remember it was, I don't know, maybe about at 9 years old. I was about 9, somewhere in there. So, at 9 years old, you on fire about Christmas because you fully understand what it just gift time. I'm going to get some stuff. I'll never forget my mother sitting down, and my mother said to me, she said, baby, because my father, I think, had lost his job. And my mother worked a job, but, she didn't make a lot of money, but she did okay. And I remember her saying to me, and I don't remember the words exactly, but it was something about, baby, Christmas is going to be a little different this year. And I remember saying, okay, at 9 years old, I can kind of understand. I didn't know exactly what she was saying because I used to have like killer Christmases, like stuff lined up from the hallway to the tree. And she said, we light on money. And my mother was one of them. She ain't not paying no light bill. She ain't believing that. She ain't not paying no light bills to buy no Christmas presents. She don't play that. She ain't not paying no car notes for no Christmas present. She taught me at 9 years old that even though I know that this is what you look forward to, the reality of this is that we don't have it. And I remember what I got, and this is amazing. I remember what I got that year. And I think I got like some leg warmers. And I think it was like maybe 3 things: some leg warmers, some boots, and it was things that I kind of needed, and something else. And do you know what? I was just as happy as I can be. I was not like some of these children today with this entitlement mentality. I was as happy as I could be. And I remember the lesson that I got from that as I got older and I reflected back. What she taught me in that moment was, yes, Christmas, but even for Christmas, we are not putting ourselves in a deeper hole, because that makes absolutely no sense. I remember her even saying something to the fact of, because, we still got to live after this. I remember her saying something on that order, and my mother will give her limbs for me. Y'all hear me? So for her to make that decision, because in her mind, no. This one day out the year, we gonna be all right. You ain't in need of nothing, but it's gonna be a little light. It taught me something early. It taught me, do y'all know, even in my times of financial raggedy ruins, I never not paid no light bill. I never had my utilities cut off. And I'm talking about robbing Peter to pay Paul. I'm talking about doing some crazy crafty stuff, all but selling my soul to the devil to make sure stuff got paid. But I remembered that fact that she taught me subliminally that even in this time, you still don't want to squander all of your money. You still don't want, if you only got this, then that's all you spend. And everybody who you typically buy presents, or if it's a moment where you like, look, all I can buy y'all is a card and we're going to sit down and have dinner together, that's what we going to do. We going to give ourselves our time to each other. That's the resource we going to exhaust this Christmas. You got to think about that, guys, okay? So you already know I could go on and on about money. We're going to deal with that next week. I think it'll be January 1st next week, right? Relationships. This is one of the most wasted and misunderstood resource that we have. And I gotta sit all the way back in my chair for this. When it comes to relationships, that old adage about it ain't what you know, it's who you know. Well, that ain't 100% true. It's both. It is who you know and what you know. Let me tell you what I have come to understand, especially in the last 5 years of my life, is that how I've managed to get out of ruts, to get out of holes, to get out of bad situations was merely because of the relationships that I had acquired. In your lifetime, I don't care how high you go or how successful you become, your relationships can be the difference in you failing and succeeding. And let me say I need everyone right now to take stock of their relationships. And I mean, let me define relationships first. It is a way in which 2 or more concepts, objects, or people are connected in the state of being connected. That means, now there are different types of relationships. I'm going to go through that real quick too. When you want to leverage something, when you want to do something and you don't have the resources, sometimes you ain't got the time or the money. Sometimes you literally need to make a phone call. You need to say, so-and-so, I need some help. I need to know if you could do X, Y, Z for me. I need to know if I could work with you for us to partner. I'll do this, you'll do that. I'm gonna tell you, how do you think rich people get richer? They don't do it. Ain't no such thing as self-made. I really don't like that statement. When you get yourself to a place of wealth or of really influencing the world and doing big and great things and changing lives and whatever it is God has called you to do, you did not do that by yourself. You have to understand how to utilize, I didn't say use, how to utilize the relationships that you have, how to make them a part of your growth. As John Maxwell says, I've said this 1,000 times, while you growing, those relationships or somebody got to hold that ladder. This is what has to happen. Your relationships, let me break down the different ones. I want to be real specific so y'all ain't got to go figure. You got 4 different types of relationships. You got your family, you got friendships, you got acquaintances, and you got romantic relationships. All of them should have a function. Now, you didn't choose all of them, obviously. Family, you don't choose. But if you got them, and if they are part of your life, an active part of your life, they need to serve a purpose. When you go sit with family, that should be the time you should be able to let your hair down. You should be able to not worry about not having to show certain parts of yourself. You should be able to be transparent. If you find that with certain parts or certain members of your family that they cannot become part of your life strategy in a positive way, then I'll holler. I'll see you at the barbecue for 5 minutes, but I'm not going to spend any extra time there. But if you have family members, there are family members that have went into business together and built successful empires because they came together and they utilized that connection to build something bigger. Okay? Then you talk about friendships. First of all, let me talk about friendships and acquaintances together, because some of y'all get it twisted. Everybody you connect with is not your friend. Everybody you work with is not your friend. Everybody who you actually, and I should have defined these because I did have a definition for acquaintances. Acquaintances is somebody that you all just kind of, you come to a place, you're familiar, you work together. For you all that are in this business, the beauty business, or any service business where you have clients, where you all mess up, because I've done it, is why do you think all your clients are your friends? No, they're not. You know when you know they ain't your friends, the minute you have to make a decision that takes away from what they are accustomed to you doing, or changes the schedule, or changes something that they'd rather stay like it is, you will see how much of a friend they are. Because I've had a client tell me, now this is the client that would bring me food. This is the client that if I had a function, she'd show up. This was that client that will buy you presents on your birthday, that will buy you stuff at Christmas. I had to have surgery. I had 9 surgeries in my lifetime. I had to have surgery, and it was at a time that I guess was very inconvenient for her. And her exact words to me was, do you have to have that now? And I was like, well, when would you suggest that I have it? Right there, let me know. Oh, it ain't about me. It's about you. Okay? And I myself got that confused when I was younger, because the relationship in a barber salon, a barbershop, a beauty salon becomes so intimate. It's because of touch. Touch is powerful. Touch transcends energy. That's why it becomes intimate. But you have to recognize all of them aren't your friends. You can't leverage all of them the way you would a true friend. Perfect example of this is I have a girl that I coach. She wanted to do a particular event. She really thought that her workers, who she thought was her friends, she thought that the clients who she loves on every time they come in, she thought they was going to sell tickets and do this and build this thing. Did none of that happen. I told her that's because they ain't your friends. You treated them like they're your friends and they got some obligation to support this venture. And she was so disappointed. And I said, why? You leveraged the wrong people. You literally took a resource that you thought was a resource and it wasn't. Okay? So you got these 4 different relationships. You have family, you have friends, you have acquaintances, and then you have romantic. And let me say this, I'm going to go into the romantic level. I don't care if it's a man or a woman. I don't care how you want to look at this. If you are in a romantic situation and that person brings no productive function to your life, meaning when you need them, they ain't never there. No. I don't get that. I don't get being in any form of relationship where I love you and no. First of all, let me talk to my women again. As women and men, y'all do a little different. I always say men trade up. Women trade down. I always say that. You ain't gonna get too many men that ain't gonna subliminally look for a woman or find a woman that brings something that makes them better or that brings something positive to their lives. But women do it all the time. I don't understand. Even your romantic relationships have to be part of your life strategy, and they have to have a return on that resource. They have to mean something. When they get to the point, hopefully they don't, where they ain't meaning nothing and they ain't nothing but dead weight, and then we need to start thinking about something else. Or we need, as Roseanne Barr back in the day before all her drama used to say, we need to renegotiate the terms of this relationship. And obviously, if that can't happen, then we might need to think about something else. I don't care what the situation is. Even a romantic relationship cannot serve no purpose in your life, or it is dead weight. And there are so many of us that are taking these relationships, which are sucking up your time and your money, and they killing all your resources. Then you wake up one day at 50, 60, 70 years old, and you like, how did I get here? This is how you got here, because you did not allocate your resources properly, okay? Then I'm going to go into staff. All right, for those of us that have staff, now I'm going to tell you, I had to learn this because I was terrible at delegating. Delegating was just the hardest thing in the world for me. I got people that literally work for me that have turned the world over. Oh, they like to tell me what to do. I do it. Just tell me. I had to learn that, guys. I had to learn that that was a resource that God blessed me with, and the people will do it and do it well, do it better than I would. And I didn't know for years how to allocate that resource, so I got the return that I should have gotten off of it. Oh, but I got it now. Oh, I understand real good now. If you have people that will work for you, staff is simple. All the people that work for a particular organization, people that get paid, people that you pay them. How many of us have paid people and they won't do nothing for you? Then you need to get you a new staff member, because ain't no way I'm going to pay you and you don't do nothing. Now, it's a difference in me not asking you to do nothing and you taking on yourself that I just going to not do it, or I'm going to half do it. And for all of you all that got staff like that, get rid of them. Period. If they don't help your business grow, if they don't help something you got in the world grow, and let me say this, I'm getting ready to take it to another level. Staff, when they get in trouble, they ain't got no problem asking you something that's off script, something that's personal. Can you help me? Can you this? So don't you have no issue with, if you need your staff to do something that ain't got nothing to do with nothing, and you have been there for them, don't have no problem with asking them, look, I need you to come over here and help me move something. That ain't got nothing to do with work, but I need you to help me do it. The same way when you needed XYZ, that ain't got nothing to do with work, I helped you. Okay? And I don't believe in keeping score and reminding people, but when people who I have helped get amnesia on me, oh, I don't have no problem. Like, oh, it's like that? And I don't keep score. But that we not going to have, because now you're telling me that I have no return on this resource, which is having you as a paid staff member. It's not going to work for me. Okay? Then this is my favorite, guys. Information. Oh, my God. In this age that we live in, this information age, information is knowledge by Nikki. My company is a company that is based off of me delivering factual, resourced information to create movement in your life. Okay, that's my mission statement. That is what I do. My information, and it took me years to understand how valuable information was. But let me tell you what I do now, and I do it and don't have a problem with it. Back when I started forever ago, 32 years ago, I was always an information junkie. I always loved knowing more about stuff. And just, if I rode down a certain street and I saw this street that veered off, one day I would just say, let me just see where this street goes. So I'd have the information to know, oh, okay, I could take that street. I've always sought out information. But what started happening was I would spend my time, my energy, my money, all my resources to learn more about this information. And then I would have people that would ask me, and I would give it to them. Now, for years and years and years, I didn't have no problem with that. Let me tell you what was the turning point of me no longer doing that when it came to information. Now, if I choose to give you something, that's fine. But I had a guy, I'll never forget it, and I won't say his name. He would ask me, he had a barbershop and a salon at the time. This was maybe 15 years ago or more. He would always ask me stuff about what to do. He got a problem with staff, this, and that. And it was things that I actually knew what to tell him. So we went to church together. So him and his wife would always sit and talk to me and just pump me for information like I'm the concierge, right? Not a problem, because at the time I didn't understand how valuable of a resource information was. So I never forget this. Now, I ain't charged this guy not a dime. And I'm talking about giving him some straight information, stuff he can take right there and go change everything for him. So I remember when I wrote my first book, and that was maybe 12 years ago. And I wrote a book, and it was interesting because the book that I wrote was a lot to do with the things that he had asked me, that I realized, oh, I actually do know what to do in this stuff. So I'm going to write a book about it. So I wrote the book. That was my first book, Booth Rental versus Commission. I wrote the book. He came back to me. I hadn't seen him for a while, maybe about 6 months later, and he asked me about something that was exact, like a whole chapter of this book. And when he asked me, now mind you, I've been giving this dude information for years, okay? When he asked me, I said, oh, I'm glad you asked, because I just wrote a book on exactly what you asking. And I went on to it, and I showed him the cover and this, and that. And I told him, I said in the book, I think at the time the book was like $25 or something like that. And I actually had a copy of it. You know what this guy told me? And it changed my entire perspective. You know what he told me? He said, that's okay. I'll just find it online or something. I just figured out another way. And I remember being offended in a way that I cannot explain. I'm like, really, dude? I've been sitting here giving you information for probably 2 years. Ain't never said nothing about charging you a dime. And I have a book now that deals exactly with what you're asking. And the book is $25, and you gonna tell me that you gonna go find it another way now because I didn't put a dollar amount on it? I said, okay. That was the last time that I gave information away that I didn't choose to give away for free. I understand, and I want to say this to all of you all that are full of information, and don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there doesn't come a time when God will just put on your heart, just give it to him. You follow that if that's what it is. But when people come to expect you to give them information, this is what you ask them if they want a trip about you not giving it to them. You ask them, will this information bring you more money? Will it help you produce more this, more that, more whatever? If they say yes, then you say that's why you got to pay for it. If it's going to help you make more, then you need to cut me some of that. If it's going to help you produce more, then you need to show me some love. And it ain't even always in money. They could even offer up we can barter. I don't care what it is. But what I have come to realize is that information, and as Charlize Theron says, y'all know I told y'all I love TV now and I love movies. In The Fate of 8, the last one that's been out other than Hobbs and Shaw, which is the, what's the series? The Fast and Furious series. In The Fate of 8, she told Dom, which is Dominic Toretto, which is Vin Diesel in the movie, she told him the only true thing that a person in life can give you is information. And it's the truth. Information is the difference. Information will help you fast track your life, good or bad, either in the right direction or the wrong direction. The right information could make all your wrongs right. The right information and doing something with it can help you get your money back. When I say information, I now understand is almost as valuable as time. I would probably put it second in the list. Time first, information, then money. Because where information resides, also wisdom rests. Before Tom Joyner died, not Tom Joyner, Doug Banks. It was a radio disc jockey here in Illinois. Well, he was everywhere. He was syndicated. Before he died, he actually had a segment on his show where he would have this adult segment where he would ask questions to people. And it asked 3 questions. If you could have one of 3 things, wisdom, wealth, or health, which one would you want? Do you know nobody said wisdom? The only people that said wisdom were like 90 years old. Nobody said wisdom. Everybody thinks wealth and they think health second, and then they think wisdom. Don't you understand that wisdom and information are tied together? It'll teach you what to do for your health. It'll teach you how to get your money right. Information will get your whole life right. What I'm telling you all today, this will change your life. It's information. It's words being conveyed through a digital program or a screen that if you take it and you use it, it'll change everything else in your life. And I don't think we put a high enough value on information and how it's exchanged. So that is also a resource you do not want to squander, okay? And then last but not least, we talk about energy. Energy is what you physically do. It's what you when your foot hits that floor every single day. What do you do from there? Do you get up and sit down for 5 hours? Do you get up and do you plan your day? Do you work out? Do you eat? Do you take a shower? Do you do nothing? What do you do? Your energy and what you do with your energy and your time are directly correlated, because you usually, when you squander your energy, you're generally squandering your time. I'm not saying you got to be busy every minute of the day, but what I'm saying is every minute of the day should matter. I have taken on the stands when I need to rest, and I had to teach myself how to relax because I'm a busybody. I had to say it is okay for me to just sit down. Just sit down. That's on purpose, though. That's planned relaxation, like going on a vacation, a staycation. I'm just going to do nothing. Today, I need to turn my mind off. I need to breathe. As Gregory McKeown says in the book Essentialism, which is an excellent book, y'all need to get it. He says you have to sometimes push pause and create space. I love that term or that phrase. Create space in your life to grow. That means you can't be working 20 hours a day, because when it's time for you to stop, you can't even think. You brain dead. You tired. You need to push pause sometime so you can sit down, regroup, think, okay, let me process what happened, what shouldn't have happened, what I need to do different. Let me think about this. Let me just stop thinking altogether. This is a day where I'm just not going to think. I'm just going to do nothing. I'm just going to watch something stupid on TV just to give my brain a break. Okay? Whatever it is, it has to be computed in where and how you spend your energy. But in missing sleep and going to stuff and just being all over the place doing a bunch of nothing every day. At the end of your day, this is what I want to challenge you all to do. Every day at the end of your day, I want you to ask yourself, what did I produce today and what is the return I'm expecting on where I put my energy? What's the return? What am I expecting on that? If it's spending time with your kids, the return you should expect on that is to have a better and a deeper connection with your children. The more time you spend with them, the deeper the connection grows, especially at different cycles of life. Because as kids, they're one thing. As young adults, there's something else. As adults, the relationship shifts. The time you spend, the communicating, the dining together, me and my mother just turned 70. I just thank God every day that my mother turned 70. And you know what we did? We went out to breakfast. And we sat and we did something we used to do all the time. I'm a card player. I even know how to play poker. Because my father was a gambler, so I know how to play poker, Keno, Tonk. I know how to play all that, right? We sat and we played gin rummy, some of y'all call it, a 500. It was just beautiful. I wish I hadn't had to leave. It happened to be on a day I had to work. So we literally sat and we played 500 and we argued about the score and we debated about you didn't change the rules. And y'all know how we do when we get together and play cards. That ain't how it go. You done changed it up. You cheating. You already know. It was the most exhilarating moment for like 4 hours. We just sat. We ate at one of our favorite breakfast spots. We got up. We went back to her house and we just played cards. We sat there and played 500 or gin rummy. And it was, you cheating. You only dealt one card. No, that ain't how they go, because she plays online, right? So we back and forth with how the rules supposed to go. I'm like, you just got old and you forgot. But let me tell y'all something. It was beautiful. When I got back and I was able to sit down at the end of that day and I said, you know what, God? I thank you for the opportunity to be able to connect with my mother on her 70th birthday and just do something simple. I know for a fact, she still talks about it. That meant so much for her. Look, I'm getting emotional. That meant so much for her, for me, and she knows how busy I am. And let me tell y'all what I did. I left the phones in the car. I got 3 phones. I left them in the car. I said, because if I put the do not disturb on, I ain't going to remember to take it off. I said, I left him in the car. We sat there. I ain't worried about no phone ringing. I'm good. We just gonna sit here and play cards. I ain't in no hurry. You can turn the TV on, whatever. We gonna chill and play cards. And that what you want to do? Let's play. She like, girl, I got some new cards. I'm like, let's do it. That to me was worth gold to me. And it was only like 4 hours, right? When I say you need to sit back at the end of your day and you need to say, what did today produce for me? How did I spend my time? How did I spend my money? Look, my husband, he's actually on here, Bobby Madison. I thank Bobby Madison. He said, you know what? Take my American Express. Y'all go ahead and y'all buy breakfast. So he paid for the breakfast. I was like, okay, cool. So breakfast was paid for via my romantic relationship. It was just a great day, guys. You hear me? I felt like that day was so productive. I felt like, God forbid, if me or my mother had died the next day, we would have left it on the most productive, simplistic note of life. That we just sat there and spent time and talked and laughed and played cards and it was good. You hear me? I turned 50 this year. She turned 70. So I need you to do that. I need you. These are the resources. I'm going to go back to them. Then I got to get off, y'all. Where's your time going? Where's your money going? How are you utilizing these relationships you got? Staff, how are you utilizing the people you pay? Information, and where's your energy going? Where are you physically going to? Are you going places you ain't even got no business going? You know, let me tell you something, and I'm going to end on this. I got a good friend, and I love her, and she actually is retired, so I don't see her as much anymore. I'm just going to have to go to her house because I miss the conversations we used to have with her. She was the administrator for a church I used to be a member of, a huge church, mega church. So we talking about an administrator over millions of dollars, right? So she said that she had been given tickets. Now, y'all know I love me some Fred Hammond. When I say I love me some Fred Hammond, he's literally my favorite gospel artist. She had been given some tickets to go see Fred Hammond at a place in Chicago called The Venue. Now, The Venue is a casino. It's a casino boat. But if you go through the casino part, the actual theater, I guess you want to call it, is in the back. She told me, and her integrity is just, it's unfounded. I love her for this. She said she loved Fred Hammond like me because she mentioned it to me like, girl, we could have went to Fred Hammond. She said the reason she could not go is because she could not handle the idea of coming out of this casino and someone either from the church or someone from somewhere that knows her position, she would not have maybe even had the time to explain to them that I was really at the concert. I wasn't at the casino. I was at the concert. She said, so for that reason, she didn't go. She said the energy that it would have taken, this is her exact words to me, the energy it would have taken if she had ran into somebody to go into the explanation of, girl, I'm here, because you automatically want to get it out there. I'm here seeing Fred Hammond, and they'd be like, I'm paying my tithes, and she up in there at the gambling casino. She already knew because she know how people are. She said the energy it would have required for me to explain that, or the tendency somebody that I didn't get explained to, I didn't even need nobody coming back asking me, like, what was you doing at the boat? Like, it could have been the pastor or somebody else at the church. She said the energy it would have taken for me to actually have to go through that, it wasn't worth it. She told me, I said, well, Dad, you could have gave me the tickets. I ain't the administrator. She said, no, I told him to go and keep the tickets. So my point is, there are times when the energy that we're putting into being in certain places, being with certain people, spending our time in unproductive stuff, it ain't worth it. You squandering your time, you squandering your resources, you squandering your physical, you done lost sleep for something that ain't even worth it. Think about it, guys. And the last I'm going to say is, remember, I'm going to say what Tony Robbins says again, where you put your attention, your energy will follow, and you have to be better allocate your resources so that you will in turn help and help further these strategies that you've created for your life. All right. I hope y'all got a lot out of that. It's my time to ride out because I got things to do, places to go, and people to see. My time going to be allocated good today. But this is Knowledge by Nikki with 1K. I love you all. I love that you all love me and you tell me that on a regular basis. But what I really would love to see is your life change. I am not a person, I don't care about accolades if it does not prompt people to move. I am an action girl. Love me and move. I want on my tombstone, when I die, the only legacy I want to leave is that everybody I talked to, everybody I had any connection, contact with, that their lives were better after than before. So love me and move. All right, deuces. Gotta go.